Alright. Who the hell brought nu metal back? Seriously, the most clowned, mocked, dumpster fire genre in metal history is suddenly everywhere again. And no one, not even the dudes in JNCO jeans, saw this coming. The damn thing was dead and buried. Some dude in a red Yankees cap gave an eulogy. 1 minute it was cringe, 2000s time capsule, and music for kids who smell like Axe and Monster Energy. The next minute, TikTok is blasting chop suey, festivals are booking corn clones, and Gen Z's dressing like they just respawned from a 2001 Hot Topic. Some even smell like the store. If you know, you know. But here's the big question. If nu metal was that popular, why did it die so brutally? And what made it explode in the first place? And why the hell are kids born after it died suddenly obsessed with it again? Is this a real comeback or just a nostalgia sugar rush waiting to crash? By the way, I'm KoYan Irvine, lifelong metalhead, certified JNCO gene survivor, and this is the heaviest show in the universe. Today, we dive into the rise, the fall, and insane resurgence of nu metal. Because the real reason nu metal died wasn't because it sucked, and the real reason it came back is way more surprising than nostalgia. Seriously, nobody, not bands, not labels, not fans, predicted this. So let's get into it. First off, let's rewind to the 90s. At the time, you had dial-up internet that screamed at you like a Slipknot intro, divorce rates skyrocketing, schools pretending mental health wasn't real, and malls everywhere. Surge soda, and the entire world preparing for Y2K like computers were about to start throwing hands. Look, if you were alive back then, you feel me when I say we all felt the rage when our mom asked us to get off the internet so she could talk on the phone. And on top of that, it was a crazy decade for metal. Thrash was being replaced as most bands couldn't evolve with the times. The exception being Pantera, who, as everyone knows, just went heavier and became ultra-based, certified bidet users, as all real metalheads are. Metal's identity was falling apart so fast. Something f***ed up was about to happen. Some would say metal needed an evolution, and some would say that this would be a devolution. Those people probably weren't cool enough to rock wallet chains and JNCO jeans. Anyway, into this emotional soup of metal walks the hero of our story, nu metal. A genre that said to every angsty 90s teen, hey, you're angry about literally everything? Same here. You see, nu metal spoke to young people because it mirrored what the 90s kids were really dealing with. Identity crisis. Every kid felt misunderstood. Nu metal made being weird cool. It was emotionally honest in a messy way. Grunge was sad, metal was tough, and nu metal said, I can be sad and we can punch through drywall together. There was genre blending like nothing before. DJs with metal bands, rap verses between breakdowns, 7-string guitars tuned so low they could summon earthquakes. It was basically the first truly postmodern metal genre. And with the death of thrash metal, metal was having its own identity crisis. Nu metal and 90s teenagers were truly a match made in heaven. They would navigate the joint identity crisis together. So, nu metal became a Frankenstein made of rap, metal, alt-rock, funk and industrial, and a whole lot of my childhood sucked. And youth culture ate it up like no other genre of metal before. Korn told you it was okay to be weird. Slipknot told you it was okay to be angry. Deftones told you it was okay to be sexy and sad at the same time. And Linkin Park told you it was okay to cry as long as it was over anime AMVs. If you know, you know. Limp Bizkit told you it was okay to completely lose your mind. Nu metal wasn't just music. It was an identity. And it dominated the late 90s because it captured the feeling of a generation that didn't fit anywhere. Nu metal said, you're not alone, and also, nu metal burned so bright that people thought it would last forever. But what nobody expected was the part of nu metal that aged worse than cargo shorts. God, I really hate cargo shorts. Before we keep going, if you're vibing with these deep dives, liking the video tells YouTube, yes, show this to more metalheads. It actually works so the video doesn't get lost in the algorithm's own identity crisis, which is way worse than mine was in high school. Thanks a bunch. So here's the thing no one expected. Nu metal didn't just fade out, it imploded like a star. And one of the biggest reasons why is oversaturation. Just like with thrash metal, record labels saw Linkin Park sell 10 trillion copies of Hybrid Theory and said, we want 40 more trillion. Suddenly, every band was wearing Adidas, rapping poorly, whispering in the verses, screaming in the choruses, naming songs like Pain Within Hatred, and doing the exact same "my parents hurt me" lyrical arc. The genre became a meme before memes even existed. Nu metal was basically the hipster of music memes. But the death blow wasn't just musical, it was cultural. There was a cultural shift. Then the world changed. 9/11 happened. The economy shifted. Fashion changed. Culture got more darker, more cynical. People didn't want break stuff anymore. They wanted "I'm not okay." And the underground that nu metal grew up in was transforming into something way heavier. Metalcore showed up linking arms with the Swedish mellow death scene like the new kid with better gear and cooler haircuts. And that mix of metalcore and melodic death metal had everything that weird nu metal stuff had and way more. It had breakdowns, soaring catchy hooks, MySpace angst, neon merch, and dudes doing crabcore squats like their lives depended on it. Nu metal instantly looked old. Also, Woodstock 99 did not help. But Limp Bizkit didn't kill nu metal, it definitely beat it with a folding chair though. And then Saint Anger happened. We're not gonna go into details, but every metalhead basically said, "Alright, I'ma head out." And after that, it was pretty much Jover for nu metal. You see, nu metal didn't die because it sucked. Well, not at first. But it died because it won too hard. It burned too bright, too fast, and got too covered in wallet chains. I'm talking medically unsafe levels of wallet chains. And then it started to suck. But the craziest part is, what came next? No one saw coming. Not the old headbands, not me, not the record labels, and don't lie, you never saw it coming either. Because nu metal would come back 20 years later, stronger than ever. But before we get into that, what is the best nu metal album of all time? Personally, I'd take either The Sickness, Hypnotize, or Hybrid Theory, but I want to hear what you guys think down below. Somewhere around 2016 to 2018, kids on SoundCloud, they discovered KoYan. Like they'd unearthed an ancient scroll. TikTok discovered Linkin Park. Spotify algorithms started pushing Deftones in 2022 like they were the new Billie Eilish. Suddenly, Gen Z and Alpha said, "Avocado toast is cheeks, but this millennial music actually fucking slaps." Welcome to the nu metal renaissance. You see, every 20 years, culture repeats itself. The 80s came back in the 2000s. The 90s came back in the 2010s. And now the Y2K era is back with a vengeance. Jeez, I am so old. Young people romanticize this stuff they never lived through. And fair enough, the 90s and early 2000s are completely goated. That being said, now we've got teenagers dressing like early 2000s skaters despite having the bone density of a damp bagel. Those teenagers weren't just inspired by what they discovered, they went ahead and mutated it into something way heavier. Let's talk about some of these bands. Tallah, Wind Waker, Dropout Kings, Poppy, Scene Queen, Loathe, Modern Day Deftones, Poor Stacy, WARGASM, Kim Dracula, kinda odd, but it's up there. Sick Brain, Kublai Khan TX, they're more like metalcore, but they got that crossover with the nu metal stuff. And Sleep Token, which it's not necessarily nu metal, but it undeniably is influencing this whole fusion scene. You see, it's not nu metal like it was before, it's nu metal evolved. Instead of copying the old style of nu metal, which used golden era hip hop mixed with thrash, groove, and classic metal, these revival nu metal acts mix modern metalcore with modern hip hop production to create something refreshing and new. Mainly the use of trap beats and 808s instead of the classic bass production of that golden era of hip hop. It's chaos curated to the modern youth. And the craziest part? The OGs didn't fade. They're along for the ride too, and honestly, some of them are pulling the entire cart. KoYan never left. Deftones became the official soundtrack to every horny TikTok edit. Limp Bizkit became unironically cool. Slipknot stayed massive. System of a Down released 2 songs after 15 years and completely broke the internet. And now they're touring. Sick New World, the nu metal nostalgia fest, it's sold out instantly. And here's the part that blew my mind. The fashion came back too. Everything you're seeing in 2025. Big pants, spikes, chains, cyber goth sleeves, red and black hair streaks like Shadow the Hedgehog, baggy hoodies, the one pair of Osiris D3s someone brought back like they discovered Atlantis. But man, I used to rock those bad boys so proudly, I begged my mom to buy them for me every time. Anyway, nu metal never looked so fresh. Nice work, Gen Z. I'm proud of you. This whole movement is all so over the top. It's melodramatic, it's emotional, it's messy. It's perfect for the modern content cycle. You see, nu metal isn't trending ironically. It's genuinely connecting with a generation that's more stressed, more depressed, and over-caffeinated than ever. Me too, boys. Me too. This modern style of nu metal makes total sense in a world where everyone feels incredibly isolated, chronically online, anxious, and begging for true emotional connection with anything, whether they realize it or not. Before we conclude, comment your favorite nu metal track of all time so we can see who still reps the old school versus new school wave. Everyone wants to know if this comeback is here to stay. And the more I thought about it, the more the answers surprised me. So is nu metal really back? If so, for how long? And again, this completely shocked me. Short answer, yes. It will stick around because it has evolved. Long answer, nu metal today is basically a toolbox. Artists take what they want: the bounce riff, the emotional vulnerability, the rap delivery, the low-tuned guitars, the industrial textures, the whiplash energy, but with modern production, modern aesthetics, and modern genre blending. But here's why it will last. Streaming favors genre chaos. Kids don't care about genre purity. They want playlists that go from Deftones to Ariana Grande to Low to Skrillex to Korn to Sleep Token to Glave. No one listens to full albums anymore. It's always a mix-up, myself included. Nu metal fits the blender perfectly. New artists are pushing the sound forward. This wave isn't nostalgia, it's innovation. The world is chaotic again. The angrier and weirder the world gets, the more people gravitate toward music that reflects it. And TikTok is basically a nu metal factory. If an 8-second clip of a breakdown can go viral, the genre will always be thriving. And the final truth, nu metal won't dominate the charts like 2001 again, but it doesn't need to. This time, it's not mainstream. It's cultural. Nu metal came back because kids today feel the same things we did: anger, confusion, loneliness, pressure. But they have way fewer places to put it. Nu metal gives them a place. And just like every other form of metal and extreme music. And that's why maybe nu metal, just like extreme metal, may never truly die. Just maybe it's here to stay. If you enjoyed this episode of Heaviest Show in the Universe, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next deep dive into heavy music's wildest stories. Which nu metal revival act has surprised you the most these past few years? Drop it below and I'll see you down there. I'm KoYan Irvine. And remember, whether it's blast beats, breakdowns, or bad rapping over 7-string guitars, metal always finds a way. We will see you in the next one. As always, long live metal.